Hi guys, welcome to Friday Night Boxing. My name is Jamie O'Neill. This is the JTV Raw takeover of the JTV channel. We are live from the DURIE'S Boxing Club Gym in Rutherglen. I'm joined with my guest Archie Durie. Archie, how you doing?
I'm not bad.
So this is the first time we've left our office. We set up. We're hoping to try and do different stuff. I know this is a sort of makeshift sort of studio, but I think we've done well now.
Done a lot of things in this box thing. I didn't think I did an interview.
Well, so what's been going on? Like, wait, I'm just going to fix this camera. Switch between the two of them. So, obviously, since the lockdown, the gyms have been shut. The last time I was in here, we done the Durie special where I think you had back-to-back classes the whole night.
Irish here and all that, I remember that.
And it was just before a pro show, and you were taking a group of boys out as well. But no, it's just us. You've got your stuff ready. You get your sanitizer and your sign-in sheets and stuff. Is this what has been encouraged for gyms to?
Yeah, well, with the Boxing Scotland side of things, they want an independent COVID officer. Myself, I've been allocated myself to do that. A lot involved in it. Admin paperwork, all of a sudden, making sure people that come in at your gym, temperature, to make sure they're healthy enough, okay, they're no unwell, maybe, for instance, always cleansing their hands, just all the hygiene things, rain gloves, make sure all the things I've got to, it's independent COVID does make sure it's happening. And my gym, as far as it goes, the gym going as busy as it was, I think we're going to see as busy as that again. Jamie, again, that night you saw it was 30 odd people in here, I mean, I don't think I'm going to back, I'm not going to be allowed to do that again.
Do you think gyms will be able to recover for this, or is it going to take like months or even years before we're back up at that level?
As you know, Jamie, this is my life. This is boxing. I'm a full-time gym. I do it. People run businesses, make fortunes, not the rest of it with myself. There's plenty of times I go to Roppy, to the pipe ball, sort of thing. I rely on the boxing shows, usually the Kings Park Hotel, to keep my gym going. Where it's going to be happening now, I don't know how it's going to go, because all of a sudden the capacities are going to be almost halved in shows, and they're running into the gyms. People are talking putting price up and all the rest of it. That's not an answer. I don't agree with putting price up to pick it up for everybody else. That's not the answer. It's just, I thought about it long, hard, like I'm saying. It's worrying, it's concerning, big time concerning. And I say, the only way I'll go under if I go under it, I'll be in to keep my gym alive, you know about. Aye.
So we've done most of your shows in the last few years since we started. We've just been error year, but I think we've done 3 or 4. Well, we were due to do one in May as well.
That cancelled.
Because we had like so many back to back, and then that just stopped. But yours are always, and that Kings Park's always mobbed. Obviously, gyms use that as a source of income to fund the gym, fund trips and that. You're always going about. You've got your bus as well, which I mean, all that costs money. Have you got any support, or is there support for gyms?
Well, like I said, I've been thinking long during this lockdown, the 4-month lockdown. It's one of the major things I've been thinking about all the time, how my gym's going to survive, how we're going to fix things. And I always talk to my board and all that, my delegates, my other judges and things. I'm always talking with them all the time, talking about getting fundraisers here and there and things like that. But obviously, the shows and things like that, it's going to be, I need to get a lot more sponsorship involved, Jamie. That's what I think it's going to have to be the way ahead for most gyms. I think we're going to have to get more people sponsoring, bigger companies sponsoring the community-based boxing, especially community-based amateur boxing clubs, because I think there's going to be a lot of clubs will actually fold and go under. I see, this is my life. This is I live off this day. I know, 6 days a week I'm open. 6 days a week I'm open. I think there's going to be many luxuries nowadays. You've got to wake up and work hard to make what I get, that's for sure. It's hard, mate.
So if you're finding this tough, I mean, I've met Cash a few times, and he always talks about you from back in the Boxing Scotland days as well. But the first time I met him, I could just see he just seemed a bit down, and I was like, this a lot of boxers' livelihoods, a lot of young boxers that rely on the gym. There must be ripple out effects to that. If young people aren't at school, they're no wider or staying in the house. But where else are they going to go? So not just people being made out in the community, but they need somewhere sort of going. You've got a lot of boxers. I mean, Shahzman was, is it 3 times?
2 times GB champion. That was him going for his third there that got abandoned, sure.
So like, to then just, they were boxing, and then it was just like nothing. And it's not like we had enough warning for it. So how have you been talking to the boxers? Do you still keep in touch?
I'm still in contact with all my boxers, all my boxers' parents. all of them, even down to my tots, my 8 to 10-year-olds, to their parents, to the ones like Shahzman, no, they're 15-year-old boys and they're 16. And I said that's usually the time. If I box the Amateur Pro myself, between that maybe 14 to 18 stage, I can make a break in boxing, they can walk away. Usually you'll find that most people in the boxing know what I'm talking about here. You get that wee spell, you start discovering other things out with boxing, and they tend to either fade away or we lose them. That's just normal without 2020 being the year it is. Like this is going to destroy a lot of souls, a lot of minds this year, and we could lose a lot of boxers, good be talents through this. The mental side that just cope with things and get on with it. That's what I think. So
if you, I know you, like, obviously the gyms have been getting information for Boxing Scotland, they've been publishing, I've seen a lot on Facebook that they put out. Is there any idea of when things get back to any sort of normality, or is like...
Well, I was on the phones a couple of days ago to Paul Coleman. He's one of the managerial sides in Boxing Scotland. I probably know to quote him saying this, Paul, but I'm going in. He's saying mid-August, hopefully about the 18th, mid-August, he's hoping for the Boxing Scotland to things going to start to go. And when they start, you can like say, then they can start doing their district meetings, start doing get the west, east, north, the district meetings, who can then generate the need stuff we know to find out to get our next shows, for instance. Like I said, I rely on the shows, like I said before. I do rely on boxing shows to keep us alive. And if that's not going to work as of now, it's going to have to be, I'm going to have to look for more sponsorship, big sponsorship. Even the news, hard, it's very hard just now to get sponsorship.
So a lot of the money you get in directly supports a lot of the younger Olympics, the amateur boxers. But I mean, you do have some, you do support a lot of pro boxers that people have went, want to become professional. I know he left and then he just recently came back.
Abie Tweedlie, Abie's with me the beginning, he turned pro with Sam Kinnock, and the fight beat Gary Maguire, went out and but fell out. I'm not going to fell out, but things weren't what happened at the time the way they need to be. But fell out, and Abie went his own way again. And during lockdown, he contacted me during lockdown. He'd been watching his fight on Facebook. Watching his fight, he goes, Archie, I saw that. That's how he phoned me and said all that. I said, how we come back with it again? And if it doesn't work with you, then the coach him back to give me a shout, work things out. He goes like that, can I talk to you then? And so that's sort of the way it happened. It wasn't. It was these sneaky things like this. Abie's a good lad. I like a lot of time for Abie. He's not just a boxer. He's a friend. When I train, anybody will tell you. When I train my boys and lassies, I connect with them, Jamie. It's more than just a boxer. It's a friendship I form them now.
So was it difficult for Abie to, I mean, did he fight as an amateur? Abie
didn't have any amateur experience whatsoever. He didn't have any amateur experience whatsoever. And
that's your neighbour flying a bit.
Thanks, neighbour. I said Abie no amateur boxing experience. Tons and tons and tons of kickboxing. He was his world champion kickboxing and all material like things like that. And so he's came for me and all. He's no slow to tell you. No, I'm learning off Archie, for instance. I'll correct him everything he does. His feetwork's not right. She was like, my first met him, it was like a kicking stance he was going today by accident, and I'd be pulling him, just repetitive, pulling him. And the boys changed so much, man. The eyes get so much better.
What does it feel like for you to see the growth in boxers? I mean, you see, like when I was there was kids, literally kids, that everybody knows you, they all feel sort of like when you come in they try a bit harder when they notice you're in the background watching that. But to see that progression for some boxers for a young age and then moving up to like...
The one you mentioned, Shahzman Parnez earlier on there. Shahzman Parnez, for instance, earlier on, there's one. This is we're putting Shahzman in this one. I don't know if I said this to you before, I think I have. I mean, Shahzman's first ever fight was in the Western Districts, up in Nashgill, up there. Fought a boy from Doon Valley, Sam Mullins Club. And he was in the wee man after the first round. Sam's was a bit more experienced. It was Shahzman's first ever fight. Because of the age and all, I think he was 10 years of age. I put him in his first fight and I says, first round he come back. He lost the first round, he sat down. I'm trying to focus on Shahzman. Shahzman, I said, look at me, I saw him looking at my shoulder and all that. What are you doing? And he's staring at his dad and his uncle and all that, big raz and all that. He's looking, man, look at me. I go, out there, give me a better round, I'll cut there and get your whack and all that. He'd be greeting. He was actually greeting. This is Shahzman. He'll hate me saying that. We Shahzman, Parnez, you're 2 times GB champion. The first round, he was actually crying between the rounds, right? I said, focus, go out there and give me 100%, son. And he went out. Still lost the fight. And I think it's a very close decision anyway. But the next 2 rounds, he done so much better in the first round. The boys just sent him out and total focus. He did it 100%. I said, look at the boy now. That's a boy. First round, crying. In the ring for the first ever, and I went through him. I didn't start feeling sorry. I went through him. I said, better time you go and get your lot. And by this, he'll say, Shahzman, as I say, tell Shahzman, he's punched through that brick wall, son, to win this one, and he'll do it, he'll give it, he'll try anyway. And see the boy, he was a big shit at times, I shouldn't have say that. It does my head in, he's a good lad.
He's on social media just as much as you, I think.
I know.
Even the last time we got a picture, he jumped in you could see him, he jumped in the back. But we talk about family, like obviously the gyms need support for the families. They need to make sure that the boxers outside the gym are sort of keeping their discipline and stuff, and that they're doing well at school, whatever else they might not be able to even come to the gym. But is it difficult sometimes when you've got parents? Do they overstep the mark sometimes? How is it between you have the...
I've had it through years. I've been doing it about 14 years now in the boxing, and I would never start naming and shaming things like that, but you've got interfering parent syndrome sometimes, I suppose. I dare say most of the boxing coach, you know what I'm talking about for that. And it's how you do. That's how, in here, with the boxing, we shot at 9 o'clock every night, and roughly about 10 past 8 through to 9, there's always sparring. And a lot of the parents used to like drifting in and watching the sparring. I don't allow that. I think most of the clubs were the same as, because all of a sudden, I mind when I was boxing, me and my brother Sammy were boxing, and my dad used to walk in, I remember that. And my dad see my dad on the side of my eye, and you'd up your game, you'd pick it up, my dad watching, you'd team pressure there. So I remember it first hand, and I see it, and I've actually saw it. I've been doing the sparring, controlling the sparring, and I see some of that, one of the dads or uncles or somebody walking in, and you see the kid up in the pace and start to would be the best pal, learning enough from normally, but also they up the pace and start to pummel a wee bit too much. I've got to you, what doing? And it's the day with parents. It's not bad. It's not a bad thing. So it's great to have your parents who can show an interest to start with, but it can influence the boy the last in the ring. We have maybe a decent a boy learning and can stick in them.
I think as well, like, you guys are trained to look at signs and maybe see if somebody's not confident, and that you're there for health and safety as well, and keep an eye on them. And if there's other people sort of getting involved, it can maybe distract with that. But I've always said, like, whoever you're in the corner, you're in the corner. It's like sometimes I think you do get a bit passionate as well. You've had a few run-ins for things like that.
Normally, usually the OIC official in charge each amateur boxing show and the pro shows. Charlie, they'll know what I'm talking about. You Robert and all that, and the pro shows. Every time I can't help it, I just start screaming. Instruction. Every time the pro shows, we Robert, Charlie, and Archie in the shop. The amateur shows, OIC, Archie, they shout me, you need to calm it down. You're sent away for the corner and all that, and I'm stoned. Shouting again. I just can't help it. This is the way I'm on. I'll never change. I'll always change, you know what I mean? The way I'm on.
I remember, in fact, it was at I don't know if it was the Western Districts or the Intermediates, where you had 2 fighters on at the same time. I don't know if it was Yaseen and Kyo, I think.
Yes,
and in between, I remember you shouting there. It's like controlling both gyms.
I'd done with Yaseen because he's younger. I took Yaseen's corner. Next time we jumped in, Mikel and Neil was fighting with Prefield at the time. I jumped screaming there. I was crazy, man. Aye.
There's sometimes a lot going on in they tournaments. I get it. There's so many boxers turning up for all over the place, and they do well to organise it. But sometimes it's like a lot's last minute. So people turn up and maybe the canny boxes is named in their weight, and it's a bit of a shame. And
it's not informative enough. They've got to pay money if you come down up north or something. For instance, I see it, and I do sympathise with that because the championships are nearly always in the west. Well, I said they're always based in the Ravenscraig and that, as you see for the amateurs and things like that. But all days in off, so but the odd time up in the north or something, I do sympathise with them. We're in the west. It's not just good because of Figlesia. It's good again. It's no. I mean, used to get them in Meadowbank all the time, and the East and all that. Used to buy through for the Scottish. When I was boxing in my days, Scottish Championships were always in Meadowbank Centre. I used to box in all the time. 3 years a day and all that. It was always in East in those days. Like I said, the Championship Ravenscraig is some sports facility, you must admit, it's top notch.
There's always other stuff going on. I mean, there's the boxing going on, and then there's like dancing or sort of gymnastics, and then there's a wee guy who's a judo does judo, and they've got their tournaments on at the same time and all.
Packed and on it, man, always,
that cafe upstairs, man, I try and like, jump the queue sometimes. We've got on filming because they can't. Man, if we want to film all the fights, we can't leave. I still got the wee man there, the apprentice. He's on his phone in a wee shite. They're pretty like, I just go, oh, you just filmed this fight. We're going to stop there for just quickly. We're going to look at it's Abie's fight you'd mentioned earlier. So I'm going to play that now, and then we'll be back just in a camera. Aye, so it was with Gary, and this is at the Kynup Boxing Show. It was just late last year, I think it was October, November. Alright, so we'll be back in a wee second.
With silver and blue, weighing in at 11 stone 5 pounds. Tonight, competing in his 14th professional contest from Glasgow, Gary and in the blue corner, wearing green shorts with black, he weighed in at 11 stone 1 pound. Tonight, making his professional debut. Thank you. Jim Kirkwood has recorded a time of 1 minute 34 seconds of round number 2. Referee Kevin McIntyre calls a stop to the contest. Stephen McGuire in no position to continue. The winner, Abie, Tweedlie! And ladies and gentlemen, please.
So that was Abie Tweedlie versus Gary McGuire. It was an early stoppage. What was the story behind that?
Second round, like I said, it was the second round. Abie body shots with Gary. I had no Gary. Gary's good, no Gary for all days. For Drumchapel fighting some amateurs, I beat a couple of my boys all day stay. Good hard boy, Gary. He fought Abie, and like I says, and his defence a wee bit. For Gary's defence a wee bit, goes that week he took the fight a wee bit short notice, and Abie was sinking in some good body shots and took it out the boy. And he had been no well, so it's too hard again with the pros. He took some good shots and it finished the boy in the second round. So it stopped him in the second round. The referee stopped the fight in the second round. Respect young Gary take the fight that week. He's a hard the boy, Gary, like I say, not respect for the boy. But Abie done a job and then done a job and finished the job. You know what I mean?
It was Abie's first fight. Is there any, like, everything up there, is there any news of when we can see him back in the ring, or has there anything been discussed? Or
well, that's when Abie back training me again last 3-4 weeks here again now, and they've just got to go ahead for British Boxing Board of Control to actually train the pros again because of the COVID. You're allowed to train them, which I've been doing. I'm back training Abie 5 nights a week. 5 nights a week I'm with him every night again. And Big Peter Gora's back in. I'm training Peter. Peter's no fighting yet again, but he's just back in training. We'll see what happens with Big Peter first. But with Abie's he's focused and he's training hard, real hard now. I'm pushing him all the time and all the now. I speak to Sam Kinnock, and Friday, September 11th, Crown Plaza. I think that's where we're trying to get Abie out again. Things going well. We get an opponent for him for that date, for that night. So all going things good. I say with the pro show in the Crown Plaza. I don't know how it's going to go. I said more chance of being back live TV and things like that. I know that's what's going ahead nowadays. I don't know if it's going to go with the crowds. I'd imagine a big enough crowd. Even the Crown Plaza.
Like the Crown Plaza, I mean, it's kind of, I don't think it would be that difficult to space that out and keep, I mean, I was saying I was in a bar last week and it was literally, you could go in, you sit at your table, and as long as you could get up and go to the toilet and stuff, but it was like, you weren't allowed to go and roam about and stuff like that. You WhatsApp to order drinks and stuff like that. I think it's doable, because as you said, like a lot of boxers, this is their income, a lot of gyms, this is their income. And to go for training and then not knowing when your next fight is and stuff, it's like Sam had said, Sam was in the Herald a few months ago saying that it could retire a lot of boxers that are that reliant on stuff, because people need to have like they're professional boxers, but they also need to earn a living, and sometimes they're working in it, so it can clash. Sometimes if they're having to juggle things so much. Yeah,
see, with especially the professional side of things, like I said, and I agree with Sam. I dare say there were a lot of guys take a shot going pro and rely on sponsorship and they go to maintain to keep up their job so they can focus, train hard every day, a couple of times a day, and the road work, things like that, travel out for sparring and all that. But every single thing is going to be knocked in the head a bit. Every single, honestly, it's been so scary the way things are going to be changing so much. Still be able to train the boys as much. Even the sparring goes knocked the head a bit. Head goes permission for sparring and things like that. All the different COVID checks, go make sure you're clean. Obviously, it's imperative, I suppose. Lead up to a fight, the boxers, the referee, judges, everybody. I don't know if you saw that one. I was going to tell you last week.
I was going to bring that up. Like,
I saw them.
In between the fights, I think the referees are away getting shovels and stuff. Crazy, I don't know if that's.
I saw them. What?
Fair enough. Like they're like. Obviously there's for health reasons and stuff, but there's places opening where people are coming and going. Nobody's been got like I've been got to Tesco since day one and no been wearing a mask or anything like that, and people have been just roaming about picking stuff up, touching it, putting it down. So it's having a balance of being what's safe and what's just I think overdoing it. I think having a shower in between fights is a bit.
With myself, even with the amateur side of the boxing side, I sit and with me being a full-time gym, I'm a full-time gym, and I'm going like, but how come they can get playing football? How come they can do this? And for as long I was doing that, and I'm thinking that way, but there's no point thinking that way anymore. I just go to think positive sides of it. go on, mate, deal with it, and deal with things the best I can to make it appropriate. And I said, I'm DURIE'S COVID officer. I need to make sure things are going properly in this gym. It's going to be taken there properly. I'm certainly not wanting any can believe in this gym possibly caught COVID in here, maybe bring it back in here or not. I don't know if it's going to go away. That's the road if it's going to go away, Jamie. I really don't know what's going to happen, mate.
Because like, if you look at things like the flu never goes away. Every year there's vaccines and vaccines, and I think maybe we're going to have to be doing the same with coronavirus, and just accept that people are going to get it. But I think because there's no vaccine, that's what they're worried about. But it's what I say is now, well, it's for months and months. Everything's just been hit a brick wall, and like I know for my shops are slowly starting to get up, but paying rent is impossible, and there's no easy way out.
Well, that's what even myself and others talking about paying rent. I can't. I got the £10,000 grant. I've paid my rent right up to February. I've paid my rent. A lot of people think I'm crazy doing it. I'm delighted on it. I'm delighted on it. It's security. I know
it takes a bit of weight off. I think, and that, to be honest, that's maybe what the thing was for, just to give a bit of stability. But you still. Like, it's not just the rent that you've got as outgoings, is like
I'm still getting my monthly utility bills, run the van, the minibus van, maintain it, diesel. Like I said, I've got electricity bills. I've outstanding one. I've just came recently to deal with. They're going to come to half shortly. I'll deal with that later. But like I said, there's always something. There really is always something. Whether it be for the boxing gym. The boxing gym is my business. But the boxing gym, my business, it's also my life. It's also me. It's called DURIE'S boxing gym. It's me. It's my whole life. I says, people see you can't run a business own passion. I was told that one time. I've got to disagree. You can.
See, I love what I did. Most of the stuff for JTV is like started off as being a hobby. Now we're trying to make it like sustainable and being like, because we want to do more. We want to be everywhere at once and cover more than one show at a time and do things like commentary. So we invested in these, but that's all came for like money that we've put in and time ourselves and stuff. We'll go to another wee bit. We'll look at it's Yaseen Nawaz's fight against it's Matthew McDermott.
Matthew McDermott, wasn't it, for the Harrisons?
So this is, I like this show because this is the one where he at the end of it he got boxer of the night.
Yeah, seen the boxing. Remember that?
I'll keep the interview on him as well, so you see it. But he was like, he said to me, he was. The year before, somebody else had got it, and he was like, "No, I want that on my mantelpiece." And like you could tell, like he worked hard, and it paid off for him.
Young Yaseen smiler, big smile all the time, isn't he?
He's like every time you see him, just by looking at him, he'll start smiling.
Good boy.
So guys, this is Yaseen Nawaz with Matthew McDermott. Have a look, guys.
Schoolboy contest over 3 1.5-minute rounds, sponsored by FXR. The referee in charge, please welcome from Irvine, Mr. Paul O'Connor. Introducing first in the blue corner, wearing red shorts with white, weighing 44.4 kilograms. From Glasgow, Phoenix Boxing Club, Matthew in the red corner, wearing black shorts with gold, weighing 45.7 kilograms. From DURIE'S Boxing Club in Rutherglen, Yaseen Nawaz. 3 1.5-minute rounds.
pussy, I beg you don't panic. When me and bro pull up, bro glide with a stick, but he don't play snooker. Out all night, tryna chase that mullah. That's another week that I just missed drummer. Stuck for a laugh from a mouth of a sinner.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, please let's hear it for both boxers. After 3 rounds, the winner by unanimous decision in the red corner, Yaseen Nawaz. And ladies and gentlemen, please let's hear it for Matthew McDermott.
Alright guys, the jury show is just finished. I'm joined with Yaseen Nawaz, who won his fight earlier on. How did you enjoy it?
I think I done really good, done myself proud. Got best home boxer of the night, so I was wanting to get that trophy for a wee while, so I'm proud.
So you put in a lot of hard work here. This is your first year, and obviously you're looking forward to it.
Definitely. I really want to get the novice win.
So you had a lot of pals in the audience. Does that egg you on? Is it good to have support at a home show?
Yeah, especially when you're tired, it helps you dig in.
And what was your coaches saying in the corner for your rounds?
So this time I had Callum in my corner instead of Archie. Archie was just giving me water. So Callum usually works with me on the pads. He gives me loads of advice. He's really good. I think without him, I don't think I would have won it.
And I heard you were getting Shahz. Unfortunately, didn't win his fight. He was saying that the guy was a bit too fast, but I heard you getting some advice. Is that how you are in the club? Is that tight that you support each other as well?
Aye, yeah. Everyone in the club's so supportive. That's what you need. It's a good club. It's a family.
Right, so you were just awarded the Boxer of the Night. I stole your trophy to present it again to you, so there you go, take that. That's what you're well done, my man. And thanks for talking to me. Well, welcome back. You're joining us from the Durie'S boxing gym in Rutherglen. I'm joined with Archie Durie. We've been chatting about what it's like during the coronavirus lockdown, some of the pro boxers he's been supporting, and the amateur Olympic style boxers as well. So you just watched the Yaseen Nawaz fight. We were saying how much he's a smile, and that you see from the interview that you just watched, like, how happy he was and how much it meant for him to be like to win boxing night. You do quite a bit of that. I think you do like a weekly boxer. What is it?
No, every day is we get training of the week. That's to the wee guys.
Training of the that's
to my wee guys. That's for 14s and under, maybe 13, 14s and under, and the kids love that. You get my days. I give my big trophy home. I say bring it back and see the buzz in their wee faces and all that. But that lifts them. It loves. It works.
It's all part of, like, as I said when I came in here, when like the young ones were in. A lot of them were like, oh, interview me. I was like, listen, you need to go ask, because you had to jump out and pick up the Irish lot.
That's right, aye.
So I was like, you need to ask your parents, and because I was like, I can't just start filming anybody with parents' permission, but you could get that they all enjoyed being here, and that's what I feel bad about, is that that's missing for a lot of young boxers, and you can tell that you're missing it as well, just seeing like the place buzzing.
See, I don't know. I started doing these Zoom classes and that, I know. See, if you're going to I don't remember at the start, during lockdown, I started doing FaceTime Live, Facebook Live, and it was all I was saying one time by accident, I done a filter on, press filter. I didn't know, it was actually James Holt from Dumchapel, text me later on, Archie, you know you're doing that? And I right away I deleted it. And he goes like, because you only able to got a photo of that, and he sent me a photo. Photos. So I went, nah, if I can't laugh at myself.
Do you know the thing? Like, that's what I was showing. It was every day you were doing it at one point.
And I realised, if I can't laugh at myself, this time's who can I? I started doing it every day. Every second day I was doing one for the kids, I put the filters on. And then I was doing with the adults in the box, I was doing it serious. You couldn't take me serious doing that filter mask on, you know what I mean? But I was doing the exercises, I was doing about 10-minute warm-ups and all that, and I was carrying on with the youngsters and all that, and there was I was getting lots of feedback from the parents, and that goes, the weird kids were all tuning in to see the mad coach bouncing about the filter faces, and they loved that and all, so I've done it for a long time. Like,
you get injured?
My Achilles, both my Achilles, both of them, they're still, they're alright getting the new, but some things they can go again. I've not got any for it, so I have to keep on.
I think like it just changed the dynamics of how, I mean, boxing clubs could have been people the other side of the world watching that and joining in the class. And it's like, it's another thing that I think it maybe is probably any positive that comes out, like these sort of things could keep going. It's even one thing we can look at, like looking at maybe classes that are done online outside the gym and that, but at the end of the day, it's competitiveness as well. You need to get, you're training people to compete in tournaments, and like if they're pro boxers, they need to, that's a living if they, so it's hard to say what's going to happen next. It's just like try to pick ideas of what could boxing look like in Scotland.
Well, I said, going by that boxing show was on the other week, yeah. Young Paul Keaton, that was one again, and gives a wee insight what it's going to be. Even I don't know if you noticed, even the corner with the big visors on and the mask on top of that, and I said they're washing down the ropes, either spraying all the ropes and cleaning all the ring and all that, and they're saying the referees are all getting showered and things like that. Everything. It's definitely, it's no OTT, but it's just precautions they've got to do. That's a template one. It's a template one getting in it and tried out, and there's going to be some amateur club somewhere. It'll be the actual template club to get a show up and run again. I'll certainly put it on first, definitely. I don't care. It's not about money. It's about getting things moving again. It's getting your boxers out there. One of the things myself, I should try and do 2-3 shows a year every season. It's guaranteed I'm getting all my crowd on it, I'm getting all my boxers on it. Don't know about this year, because this season, because I have an awful lot of boxers, I've got nearly 30 boxers. It's been for a long time, I couldn't let them on a show. You only get 15, possibly 16 on it.
Have you done it was the Scotland Select and the English Select as well, which was sort of like a new sort of partnership with boxing. It was Boxing Scotland that came up with that idea, or was it, how did that
come again, no, I was contacted with Big Niall Clark, and it was like a template thing they'll call it a Scotland Duel. This time it was against the English, and they asked me if I'd front it up front, if you like, if I'd run it as a boxing show, and give Boxing Scotland fund money. I'd give them money up front. I don't see how much it was. I'll give them money up front. I'll give them money up front, and then that secured the show. I give them money a month before it. Big Fraser Walk, give them money a month before it, and I'd sell the tickets and see how the show went, things like that. And it was, I didn't have any. A couple of trial bouts before it, we had some line boys won the Scotland Internationals on it, but a couple of them on it and all later on. But I can't say how much I made on it, like I say, but I was needed happy. But there you go.
But I mean, there is other ways. I mean, I don't know when Cannock Boxing helped the Rob Roy show at Crown Plaza. Like, do you think, because you see some of these shows, and I mean, Sam does it like it's that easy, but I can imagine like how difficult it is. I see you sometimes with one show. Remember the what was it? The oxygen never turned up. I had to send a taxi to M&D's because it was at the real show the night before. And it was just like, these things can, and I'm like that with my shops. Today I was stressed out just because like shit happens with the shop. So I can imagine when you've got all these people turning up, they're all wanting to see a show and stuff. But I think having the Kings Park, I like that because it's like, it's a good sort of environment. You've got the bar and stuff there, but even the Rob Roy one, I thought that's like they've done amazing in the Crown Plaza. And hopefully that made the clubs like some money.
Well, what I was saying, sorry, got in there, Jamie. Well, I was speaking to Sam Kinnock the other day, and Sam, obviously he's moving ahead. He's got a couple lined up at Crown Plaza. That one September 11th, Friday September 11th, and he's perfectly may have to move it here or there to tweak it to get to suit. And he's also said to me, was Archie, same I know, which he's going to be using his own gym for doing shows and things like that, I know, down the line. And he said he'll definitely help me if I've no way to get premises for shows, anything like that goes, he's going to part and parcel work with me. And I'll do something with City Glasgow and that and all. He said with Gary Porter and Barry Murphy and things like that, going with the boys and that and all. I've got connections through the pros with Kinnocks, you know what I mean? And
I think boxing clubs need to like start seeing where they can support each other, because I know you do it with sparring and stuff, but there is a lot of politics.
I know. There's a bit, something about the bitchiness, if you like, something, but they should more stick together. We need to. I think we need to come more together as a whole family. I think we need to stick, because it's hard enough as you know. I think clubs need to. The
boxers do. I mean, look at the wee Leo Church in Drum Chapel and Shahzman are like best mates. They do like that Instagram question and answer together, but they got together through the Scotland International side. So the boxers they're on the same game. They're all like, especially if they're different age range, I think somebody like Shahzman who's seen it and done it. That was Leo's first time away. I know his mum was his first time away last year, and she was maybe a bit anxious.
Twice he's been to Wales, won that, so he's won a GBs twice in Wales, man. Aye.
So that's what I mean. Like, there's even he's still young, man.
He's 15
Shahzman,
still, 15 November.
So
16, sorry.
But having that, like somebody that's slightly older than somebody, like I think Leo was like 13, and then looking up to somebody and then they become mates. Like, so, I mean, it can happen, and a lot of the coaches, I mean, they've known each other for years. So I guess that maybe some decisions in the rings that went one way and somebody's pissed off or got bad taste in them or whatever.
You probably saw me shouting the decisions sometimes, somewhere along the line.
It's something for me. I love going and seeing that passion because you do then get it in the boxers, but there is a certain way, especially boxers for your gym, like the way they act when they're there. It's like they don't do any disrespect, for they're very like proud, and it is a sort of I'm not going to say gentleman, what's it, respectful sport that even the referees will pull them up.
Discipline and respect, the two words missing, it's usually with boxing, that's what I think. And I say, but myself, my mob, if I see any of my troops being disrespectful to corners, to OIC, to anything, I'll go through them. I'll go right through them. Definitely, that's the
it's important to have that. Like the discipline side is lacking everywhere else. Sometimes, like exactly. Even schools and that struggle with discipline and that. I mean, you've got, but yet a boxing coach. I always say, like, they're not just a boxing coach. Sometimes they're like a father or a mother, as well as like an older brother, older sister, uncle, social worker, everything all rolled into one. And it's like, I mean, you'll notice differences in people's behaviour before parents or the school or whatever will. So if somebody, like, God forbid something bad happens and they're feeling bad or whatever, you've noticed that.
I've had, sorry, Jamie, I've had several of my boxers through the years. I'll not mention names and all, they'll know who I'm talking about. I've had different schools phoning me, campus police phoning me about them, things like that, and tell me, Archie, going to come up here and help deal with this here. No, I've had a few of my boxers, I've been toe rags through the years and things like that, but they know who they are, but they're good people. And the boxing's changed their lives 100%. You
see that, man? Like, there was an interview Stephen Ferguson done, and he's up front about it. He's like, just turned him 360.
Yep, respected him, definitely.
And he's such a genuine nice guy. You're talking another one, like David Quinn as well, for North Glasgow. Very down to earth guys that, and like you get the coaches in North Glasgow, like Jock and that, like it's similar to yourself, where they know the community, everybody knows them, and it's like any shit that happens, they'll just sort it out. So we're going to look at another fight. This is James McGuinness, who's in. Is it Australia?
He's Australian. Aye, he's Australia.
I was a bit upset when he went to Australia because like, I loved watching him, man. And he's
some boy, good boy.
He's such a decent guy to like just talk to outside things. He's very laid back.
Nice guy.
But this fight was one. It was unusual for me to see this one because I still learn about the rules as I go. But we'll watch it and then talk about it. So this is against James Birch. So here is James McGuinness, and we'll catch you in a wee second.
Gentlemen, next up we have a light welterweight contest over 3 3-minute rounds, sponsored by Kyrat Boxing. The referee in charge is Mr. Sean McCarthy. Introducing first in the blue corner, wearing black shorts with silver, from Renfrewshire Boxing Club in Paisley, James Birch. And in the red corner, wearing black shorts with gold, from DURIE'S Boxing Club in Rutherglen, James McGuinness! 3 3-minute rounds. Ladies and gentlemen, apologies, this is 3 2-minute rounds.
We'll see what does this cut. This distance, Jamesy boy. 3 rolls in the head. 3 feet the jab overhand. Overhand. Move the head. He's tying that down your right hand. You see it? Short that jab. Short jab. Double jab, backhand. Take this. Keep the head. Feet up. Takes the next one. His left foot. Let's get jab step through. Again.
Let him throw a big win, James. Let him throw a big jab and then straight in the body.
Be active on this, James.
James, when that jab comes, then straight in. Bring the jab in and then in the top. Go on the jab, go on the jab. That's it.
And again, keep him there. Keep him there. That's how the jab is. Move the head there, James, again, son. Roll it through. That's that. That's that. Right the jab, James. Right behind the corner. Right there, James. Go his body there, son. Go his body there, James. That's that. Rear hand, right steps in.
The one who gets
Hold him, James. You help him. Punch right through. Punch right through. That's it. Next to the side. Next to the side. Right the jab, right. Hey, that's that. Hey, 1, 2.
No more punches in under the legs. If you get the chance here, let's get a box, James. Let's go, let's go.
Stop. Watch that backhand and chop to the James, go has this one. Don't change direction. Go here, there's that. Go under. Punch, punch it closer. Punch it, look to the head.
Wait for that jab and then in, James. If that jab comes out, then you go.
Hand right there after the jab. Side of the ring, James. Just the feet.
Get on top of that after that punch. That's it. Wait for the head.
Come the corner, make it change direction. Away from his backhand, James. Away from his backhand, son. Change the angle. Jab one step through. Jab step, jab step. Try again. Good shot, good shot. That's it. Good distance, try it. Hand the foot, let him walk. Hand the foot backhand. Hold that space. Right hand after. Wait first. Good shot, good shot. Move the body first, in the head, James, boy. Move the head there, James. Right, move the head, sir. Move the arms in his shoulders. That's that. Again, shoulder fade to the feet, no. Fade to the feet, back to the backhand as you step back. Fade to the feet.
Stop.
2 phases if you're going forward. 2 phases. And again. I'm up here, I'm ready to work in there, James. Take steps, James. Go on, James, go on, sir. Touch, that's right hand again, James. Stop! Touch him on that, that's it. That's that. Go. Uppercut in there,
2 minutes. Keeps coming inside. Keeps coming. Stay away from him. On and off. Just get
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the referee has had to call stop to the contest due to an injury suffered by one of our boxers. This is through an unintentional means, so therefore we go to the judges' scores. All rounds, including those partial, are scored. And there, where we have a unanimous decision for the winner in the red corner, James McGuinness.
Okay, so that was James McGuinness, who's now in Australia. Is he staying out there forever?
Well, he's here for the second time. The first time he did the work permits and all that, and I believe he's staying. If I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, Jamesy boy. I think he's staying around at Christmas. He's coming home again the last time. He's hoping to stay there forever. I think he's got to work permits and clearance.
I've seen him. He has been going to gyms.
Aye.
I've seen. So it's not like he's gave up or anything. But
he's a good boy.
Right, with that fight, I mean, as I said, I learn as I go. So that fight gets stopped. But from my point of view, it was clear that James was winning the fight. The blood thing with the nose is what stopped it. But maybe you can clear it up. What is the rules about if you get hit and then that's you?
At the time, if I remember rightly, I catch me in hot a bit here now.
Because I think everybody
saw me, I was going mental.
I thought everybody was like,
I thought James had been stopped, and that was it. End of game's a bogey. That's what it looked like. But I went to the judges' scorecards. If it had been stopped on I went for the second round. I went to the scorecards because it was a class of hesitant or something. I can't remember. At the time, I think they decided it was a clash of heads that caused it. So an accidental clash of heads that caused his nose getting bust or something. I'm sure that's what happened that time. I said at the time I was like, what do you mean? If it just stopped it for a bloody nose, it would have went to the boy. James would have been stopped under a ref stop contest. But if I remember rightly, I'm positive. Remember rightly, you'll see with the video again there. I'm sure the referee said no, it was a proper punch. It was a clash. I saw the clash of heads that done it, and they went to the scorecards, and that's where they got it for. That's how James got it.
Because I mean, there is people that nose is going to, like the bleeders, the nose bleeders. I was younger, you could just tap my nose, it would start bleeding. My nephew's sitting there, I'm sure his nose used to bleed a lot and all. So it's like, it's hard for, what's his name for Glasgow City Boxing? Oh, it's going to, Faris it is. Faris. I know Faris so well. Like, his nose bleeds a lot as well in fights, but it doesn't mean he's not winning the fight. So I think it was a learning curve for me, and I seen it again 2 weeks later up in Lochee with Luca Flynn, and people were going, they were shouting all sorts at the referee, and it took so long, and I think the MC was a bit nervous to like hang in because he wasn't really sure. There's some that sort of like Gregory and Craig Stevens, like they know what, like they sort of know what's going. This one, I think maybe he was new to the game, the MC, and he kind of didn't know what was going to happen. But then the boy who knows the bleeding Luca Flynn won the fight, and to me he did win the fight. I know that his opponent, William Duncan, or was it Daniel? They're twins, so I was get confused. Does well, but right. Well, last fight we're going to put. We'll talk about. We spoke about Shahzman because he's like he won twice in the 1 week. Was that right? So
they won, each time you win the GBs, you fight 2 days in a trot. You win your set. You fight the best. It's like say for instance in Wales, each time you've the Welsh champion, the Welsh runner up, and they'll fight the best in England and the best in Scotland. And the one day on the Friday, and you have 2 winners fighting the Saturday. So you could actually get 2 Welsh fight each other next day. On that occasions, that last time Shahzman won it, he won his first fight. He won his first fight against the Welsh champion, and the Welsh champion won it. They won its GBs 2 times in a row. That was him going for it 3 in a row. So that was a great victory against the Welsh boy, going for 3 times GB champion. Same as Shahzman. Shahzman going for it 2 times. He got for it 3 times. Shahzman beat him and went for a good English boy, and I get that early. Got the boy an early knockdown, an early standing count in the first round. It buzzed it up for him. It was still a hard fight, but still won it. We'll still go to it. But
what does it do for a boxer at that age that he's? I know he's got boxing in his family. He's got.
McGuinness and that.
They've been boxing and that, but to be that young and to achieve so much at a young age. Obviously, you still get a few years maybe left in the. But what does it do for them? Do you see a difference in their character? Like, I've turned up at shows and he's sitting with tables full of lassie. We joke about this. He's got a lot of pals. But it's like he sells a lot of tickets.
Aye. He's selling about 50 birds from Shahzman. He's some boy, man. I says he does keep his feet on the ground. He's actually not bad. He's a good family backing. Zach, Raz, Big Shabazz, his uncles and his brothers and his mum, they're a good family. That you see them, they come to every show, they're behind him, backing his goals 100%. It's just sometimes it's Shahzman's an idiot, no comment, you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes he forgets himself, keeps his feet on the ground, but other times you maybe train as hard as should be.
I can see that age. Like there's mates that I've grew up with that were boxers, and it was like the minute they say they're boxers, they get people. Like sometimes people challenge them. Sometimes people like in school are like, "Oh, he's a boxer. I'm going to show him."
I had him when I was younger.
So, but at the other time, it's like a profile you get, and I mean, I see him in social media. He is very busy as you are, social media. But you pulled him up once. Did he miss the gym and he was at KFC or did?
I was in here. I'll not tell Shahzman who's talking about. One of these pals told me. I said, "Where is him? Where's Shahzman Parnez?" And he goes like, "He's in KFC with his pals and buzzing." Is he? I'm like, I sang on live in it. I was on Facebook live. I'm sure, but I shouted them out. Shahzman Parnez and KFC and all that. Aye, shouted them out.
But I mean, this day and age, everything's online, and like, I suppose. Like sometimes when I speak to Cash about it was like he was younger, he's like, "Oh, there wasn't anybody doing interviews with young boxers." This is kind of how this idea came about.
Man,
but at the same time, social media was different. But boxers, as you see when you're talking about looking for people to back you and like sponsors and stuff, you need to have a certain element of like profile online. Yep. And sometimes it is left to like the coaches like yourself to. I used to love it because when I needed to share news on my page, it was like. Yours was the easiest to get because you were posting so much. I knew everything that was going on.
Front in the club all the time.
But I think in the last year, like Rob Brown who posts a lot more. Glasgow City Boxing posts a lot, or the other ones up north. Like they're starting to post a lot more. Aye, so it's like it does. The more you do it sort of teaches other people to do it. I mean, and all these young boxers have all got their phones. It takes 2 minutes to put your phone out and just say to people, "This is what we're doing," and it helps build that profile. But I think long term with Shahzman in particular is that he's sort of building a profile. People are going to know who he is, which can kind of sometimes be a good or a bad thing.
Sorry, with Shahzman, for instance, I said he's just turning 16 November. So he's won in GBs twice. He did get a profile, and the truth said I've had it myself years and years ago in school. I think a boxer. And I was in fights. So I didn't see me to Castlemilk. You're a boxer. They could people want to fight me. I had that first hand. And I think Shahzman, for instance, we're using Shahzman as a for instance here, because he has won the GB twice. He's always put himself out there on social media all the time, that and all. And I see he gets himself in a bit of trouble here and there, but you just have to keep him check. I know I'm in happy when I've actually had his old man phoning me, Archie, want to speak to him. His dad doing that, Zach phoning me, Archie, want to deal with him. I think he's more scared of me than his dad, you know what I mean?
Probably a respect thing as well, and as I said, like, I've turned up at the shows. I know a lot of his family as well, for like just here and there in the past. So he has got a good group of people behind him. But I think as well, like, he needs that, like somebody like a coach, not just a boxing coach, like a life coach as well. You've seen it all, done it all, and like you've. So this is Shahzman with Harley Bowl. He's through Campus Nevin. And I like Harley as well, to be honest.
Nice boy, Harley.
And I like the coaches at Campus Nevin. Always gave me like
they're good. I see, as you know, as you're fun with the amateur boxing, especially amateur boxing, as a big family. I see, you heard me saying in the room, we need to come here together. Sometimes there can be a wee bit of bitchiness and all that. People just rather do something bad I mean, it's just stick me together. It's just this COVID going on, like I say, it's maybe here forever. We don't know what's going to be here. It's like a flu, it's killing people half all the time. And we're restricted big time in a day. We should 100%, Jamie, you've been saying, try to come there together. I think we will. I really do think it will. I know I'm going to.
Boxing does adapt. Boxers adapt as well. Like people find new ways, and like look what we're doing. We're finding new ways to like go to places and talk to people about what's going on and what could happen and stuff. But these conversations need to happen. It can't just be left like, I know I'm not under any jurisdiction with anybody, but I think it can't just be left to like Boxing Scotland to decide things. They need to be engaging and having a conversation, which I know they're having. I know, like there is space for people to express themselves in.
I'm on a group chat. I'm on a group chat for they call it the gathering. It's all coaches all through Britain. Set up with Ivan Cobb, Mickey Driscoll, and that's your top GB, Team GB coaches and all that. They've set up and all that. And they're a couple of weeks ahead of with English and all that, and they knew. And I'm reading through the group chats and going through the WhatsApp group chats and all that. And they knew. I see England and Wales and that, but a couple of weeks ahead and all that. I find it very, very, very hard, and that's the point blank. They say the rules, English FA, English Boxing Association have done, I think it's a 10-page dossier, and the boys are all saying, they're going, this is murder, this is going to shut clubs down left, right and centre, there's too many restrictions, some may be over the top, some no, and they go, and it is, for the weird clubs, it's going to shut them down. That's just, I'm seeing that, I'm watching that now, and I'm sitting, I'm reading, I'm worrying about it, I'm trying to use some of their maybe bad escapades to try and fix things myself, for future, for foreseeing it myself. We don't know what's in front of us.
Do you think some sports are getting more, like, we say we've got to play Shahzman, we'll come back to that in a second, but do you think some sports are sort of getting more preferential treatment and being like, because football clubs I think they've been getting the go ahead, just follow these simple rules and stuff, and it's like, football is like, when's football starting? Boxing as well, like, let's be honest, it's only going to be, with the exception of some, there's a lot of big names going to be fighting, and it's going to take a while to ripple down and get to people who probably need it more than some of these bigger fighters. This is just to keep maybe fans happy, but at least it's moving. But it's like it's not moving enough down to like club level.
I agree with that. I get that aspect again. I know, and like I say, it doesn't matter if it may be a boy for the schemes. Whatever, it doesn't matter if they're good. There's Josh Taylor and that. I know, like boys. The schemes and all the rest of it, come for nothing, they work themselves through and all that, and top of the world there. I mean, he came for a boxing gym. Everybody's tarred with the same brush in the boxing gym. It's no different. It's one thing about boxing gyms. Nobody's. If a gym's properly run properly, you know what, you can pick, choose. He's your favourite boys. And that's like, even in here, Shahzman, I'll scream and bounce, shout about Shahzman, put him in the gym as quick as any of the rest of them. If he's no toeing the line, you've got to treat them all the same. If you start picking favourites and doing that, it doesn't work that way. It definitely doesn't work that way in here. You got to encourage them, but give them confidence. Confidence is the main word, I think, for the people can maybe get bullied at school. Young kids get bullied at school, come to a boxing gym. I've had hundreds of parents phone me and say, "Can you teach my kid to fight? He's get bullied at school." I say, "No, I can't teach you how to fight because you're bullied at school. So I'll teach you how to box. I'll teach you how to box. I'll give them confidence, and what they're doing, I'll encourage confidence and ooze it through them, and that's normally what happens." Give them confidence, you see them mixing people and all that, and just changing. Like you see, you asked me earlier if I take thing out watching them change. I watch them all come. They couldn't have thrown a bag. Just find out if they're orthodox or southpaw, what they are. And I've watched every one of them. Every one of my boxers, they've done something. I've had a lot of good boxers through this gym, and they'll come and it's get to that stage. They're nearly. I've got a few did. My boxers going to be ready to turn pro soon enough. I've now got my boxers trainer's second licence a couple of years ago now, so I've been getting experience. I was fortunate enough to be on the same day out for my boxers trainer's licence the same day Sam Kinnock was going for his. So I met Sam. I met that day, the British Boxing Board of Control, wee Robert, and got talking to him. I was fortunate enough to meet Sam that day, and opened the door for me. And I sort of gave my loyalties to Sam Kinnock. And then any boys he ever wanted trained, I've always been there for him. And I said, but my DURIE'S boxers are coming through. Watch this space.
Yeah. So this is we'll get Shahzman Parnez versus Harley Bow, and this was at the Jury Show early 2019. This was the earliest show. So have a look. We'll be back just after it.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, time for the main event. Bout 12 of the evening. The officials are ready, and the boxers are ready. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Please welcome to the ring, rounds. Introducing you to the boxers. He boxes from the blue corner. He represents Campus Stephen Boxing Club. He is a current Scottish international boxer, ladies and gentlemen. Please show your appreciation and welcome along, Harley Ball! Ladies and gentlemen, he boxes from the red corner. Here's your hometown boy, representing DURIE'S Boxing Club. A current two-time British champion, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome Shahzman Parnez. Referee charge of the action is the Polo corner. 3 rounds. Durie, where are you? Can you come and ring our sponsor to the ring? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it was about 12 o'clock in the evening, sponsored by Tweedlie and Sons. It was a terrific bout, two excellent boxers at the top of their game, ladies and gentlemen. Two pieces of the two tremendous talents. Okay, the officials have reached a decision. It is a split decision, the closest of all, 3-2, in favour of the red corner. Ladies and gentlemen, please show appreciation for Abie.
Right guys, welcome back. Last part of the discussion with Archie Durie from the DURIE'S boxing gym in Rutherglen. This has been JTV Raw Takeover. Friday night boxing every Friday. We're going to try and get as many gyms. No doubt we'll be back. Use when you open back up.
Always welcome. Always welcome, Jamie.
Let's try to talk about. We spoke something about the boxing family and things like this, but in here, like, I mean, your name's on the gym, but there's a few Duries that pop up in the gym.
Yeah.
So no, the last time I was in here, I spoke to Jamie, and he was helping with the coaching and stuff.
Jamie, my grandson. Young Jamie's a good boy. Quiet, doesn't say a lot. He's made actions. He's a good boy. I say he's a few fights. Many fights. Jamie said no, good boy. I want to try to get him involved, even a coaching role and all. He's a good boy. He's always there. He's never let me down once in his life. After I said do there, he's always been there. Good lad.
So I know you've got a few. Like we spoke to Jamie helping coaching, but there's a few other people helping here and there with coaching. But you've got as well to run a gym. There's a lot of paperwork, and now there's got to be even more with the COVID checks and stuff. But how do you find the people, and how much support do they give you?
I'd say it's more the people find us to start with. There's, for instance, you've mentioned that people in the admin side that my club secretary is Jacqueline Evans.
Met off a few times.
Jacqueline's my goddess, right, for running the gym, man. So, and I met Jacqueline through our boy Joe, come to my boxing, young Joseph Lee. He's a cracking boy, and Joe's come back. Joe done India, he's going back again. Saw him recently, he's going to come back. I know, COVID's done a lot, getting mindsets, people want to come back. I said, Jacqueline, she does all my admin. She's got her own job. She's some woman, she does her own job. She's got her own file for stuff for DURIE'S boxing gym. She'll deal with it. All the affiliations are done at the end of the season and all that. She deals with insurance, affiliation. She does, honestly, you have no idea how much she does for me. But this is all voluntary, everything's all voluntary. I said, Jacqueline takes stuff home, she works full-time jobs and all that, runs her family, her house and all that, she'll still do this. It's unbelievable. And again, it's the same in all my coaches, my delegates, even my judges, Willie Cole and we Jokey Higgins, you see him on Facebook all the time, he's painting and all that. They're delegates, they're judges for the club. They officiate at shows. You've got to have judges officiating at shows to make you eligible to get a boxing show through Boxing Scotland. They've got to have X amount to get them. There's not a lot of clubs got two delegates, two judges. I've got two qualified judges. We Jokes a qualified judge, and so is Willie Cole. So every time I'm like a couple of boys, it means I would be liable to get a show, because sometimes you've got to hit so many marks. That's why it's a wee tick. Every time your judge turns up, a wee tick, then you can get a show. That's where it happens.
So you've got two?
I've got two every time with a show. I've got two. That's two ticks every time. So I mean, you'll get coaches moan, how's doing 2-3 shows this season? Well, if you've got delegates doing the shows, then you qualify for them, because you get them covered otherwise. And the same in all my coaches. I've got about 6 coaches. Big Phil Cole used to fight for us, Big Kieran Mulcahy used to fight for us, David Rutherford came for Jackton, David's a cracking guy, pal of mine, we Scott Gethin helped out. Maybe get involved again with the coach, he's a good guy, Scotty. We Fudge Hussein, we Fudge at owns the FXR, he's still got his coaching badge and that and all. So it's all good people getting up like their own good time for DURIE'S boxing gym, and for the love of the boys and the lasses that come here. The love the atmosphere in here. It's amazing. I'm not saying that because I've been in a lot of boxing gyms. Getting a boxing gym, sometimes you just feel people snarling, hitting bags and grilling it. You have to use that. You're like, whoa, intimidated, but nah, you'd never.
You invite people. I mean, I was here when the they came through for Ireland. But you invite people through at your gym. I know you go out and visit them as well with your bus. We had a competition, remember, with the
spot the bus.
People were sending
spot the
in
bus.
Like spot the bus. So maybe we'll have another one soon when everything's back up.
I mean, so I'm going to be somewhere, Jamie.
It's the first time I've seen it outside. But even upstairs, I mean, I never seen it before, but that wasn't all there before, was it?
No. I did that. We'll go an extension built one, and again, that was a community helped us do that. The mezzanine flare we got there, we Fudge Hussein, my coach and good friend, he bought that. That was 10 grand worth of stuff. He bought that, gave the club up, and what we done was we had to get it fitted. So a few of the boxers, his dads were blacksmith welders. Big Andy, wee Buttons and all that. They're blacksmith welders, and they ended up setting a fab shed out there. Big Andy Pete. They in a fab shed out there, and they were cutting everything down. All the extension, all the mezzanine stuff that were still sewing. This went on for about 10 weekends, Saturdays and Sundays up to 10 o'clock at night. Every week, just the weekends they did because they worked a full-time job during the week. And the fucking that, honestly, that's about £50,000 of work done. And there was no pennies, and they've done it for absolutely nothing. And meanwhile, their kids are still training in my gym, and I'm like, no, you're not paying in. And they're like, no, fucking they're paying actually. They insisted and still paying their kids in. And the work they've done, Jamie, honestly, it was emotional. That was a community giving back to this club. Things like that, you know what I mean? And there was hundreds of things done. Giving back to the community. I give my heart and soul. I don't care. And again, I've been saying to people, you can't run a business on passion. Sorry, you can. You can't extend. You've got to get the outlets to pay bills and all the rest of it. But you can if you're determined, you love it, if you're passionate enough what you do. I know I'm and I see the passion yourself you're in. Your stuff I know, Jim, you know.
And it's good when people, I mean, I'll be honest, like it was when we first set up, we want to show how it was going to look and how, but like you and Colin Belshaw through Renfrewshire Boxing,
Colin, good guy,
you two are two gyms that were like, I come in and just do what you want, film it. And it was sort of like us just testing the water out, what could we get away with, because I didn't know what, like, if Boxing Scotland were going to object or the judges didn't want us. Always
Scotland are great.
No, but to be honest, even like I emailed them even for the championships, and they were like, "Aye, that's fine. Just if you set up your cameras here, you'll be fine. Go ahead and do it." But so obviously, I appreciate because it's then led us to do other things. But I think some gyms at first wanted, like, they didn't know how we worked. They thought, or they just, because we never charged anybody at first. Then we started asking if people could get sponsorship to get it, but. It was just us testing the water to see what we could do. But always, like, afterwards, I found out how much, when I spoke to Cash, how much, like, he always talks about how much you've done for him when he was like going through Boxing Scotland, and that's his personal story. So I don't I don't talk about him, but I know we spoke about them when he was there. Aye, but it's good to see it, because I always felt bad that when Cash was young, like, I've known him since he was like 6. And I knew he was boxing, but I didn't know the level of travel and money and everything. And he loved his coach. His coach, two of his coaches passed away. And there's things there that you think, what would that mean to a young boxer at that age? Because there is boxers that you spoke to, they have a gap, or they're introduced to maybe nightclubs or the pals and clubbing and stuff. And to have that commitment, and like, you need to have the passion. And I mean, as I said, you've seen it on. You've seen it on. You've seen all different types of people coming in. As you said, everybody's treated like the same, and if they're going to put in the effort, you're going to give them it back.
100%. I know that's what I'm saying. Nobody is treated different. Not at all, man. I say that I say that you're talking about sponsorship again and all their own. I say that your main sponsor was on the ring at ABH, big guy Cammy. A big guy Cammy, let's say he gives £2,000 a year to the club to up the running of it. And I say that was the same guy last year. I got a chance at minibus for $2.5 grand, and I'd mentioned to Cammy, wait now, come see me next week. And he just gave us 2 months, believe it was £2,000 to up run in the gym, and he paid the $2.5 grand for that bus. That's good news. He's back, that guy. You know what I mean? That's me and a sponsor. And
there is people that I think recognise what you do. And I'm glad we came here first. I'm glad we came, because I see you even at shows that on your shows. Like, I've seen you at O'Neill's, seen you at the Kynock shows, and it's good for me always to see somebody that I can just go out and feel a bit more relaxed and comfortable as other people. Because some of the shows I don't I'm just meeting people for the first time.
How you doing, mate?
But it's always good, even when your boxers come. I think I've seen your boxers at shows as well, and they'll come up and they'll just talk about, take selfies and that, which is good. So Archie, thanks so much for letting us come at your gym. We will be back. I mean, nobody knows what's going to happen next, but like my ambition is that we come to shows, and hopefully if you are one of the first shows to get it up and running, we can come out and film it, and then maybe do like commentary and stuff like that. And
100%. You know what, James?
I don't want to add to your pressure, but so you do what you do, then we'll just turn up.
As soon as I'm a ready person in boxing Scotland. I'm a ready person in boxing Scotland when I can get a show again. I mean, they're not even training yet, and I'm on for a show. It's just the way it is. But not be long. Once we get shows, you'll see me working even with the Sam Kennett show on the 11th of September, hopefully with Abie Tweedlie. Doing the corners, getting used to the way they want to do things. It's all going to be new to me. I know, doing these visors and trying to talk to a man with Marshall and all that and things like. It's all going to be new in that aspect, but the training's not much different. I've seen training much different. More hygiene involved, and that things like that. But the bottom line, your man's got to be fit and determined and want to win. Abie Tweedlie's your man. Watch Abie Tweedlie go here. Good to see.
It'll be good to follow his career. I always get exclusives. Just put it there. Alright, my man, thank you.
Thank you, bro.
Alright, guys, that's us. Thanks for watching. We'll be back next week with Friday Night Boxing on the JTV channel. Enjoy your weekend and take care.